Hi, Corinne, it's Gabby.
Hey, Corinne, it's Johnny.
All right, so we're gonna start with question 1. What inspired you to make Good Morning Upstate, and how did you come up with the idea? So, I had been wanting to make like a podcast or like a YouTube thing for a while, and then one day I was on Instagram and I saw that Johnny posted something on his story, and he was like, "It's like I want to make a podcast. Like, if anybody is interested."
It's like one of those classic "how did your podcast start" formulas, you know? I had an idea, she had an idea, we just met at the right time. Yeah.
I slid into Johnny's DMs. That's how it started.
Yeah, it's how you would think a podcast would start. It's how it's how you would dream a podcast would start.
How do we come up with the name? We had a couple meetings before we even started doing anything. We actually met a lot before we started making things, and one of the first things we talked about was the name, and Good Morning Upstate was just like one of the example names, and Johnny actually ended up liking it a lot.
I really like that name, because I'd always obviously been on the same page of just like, oh, how can I put myself out there on a bigger platform or stage and show what I know? And when Gabby reached out, it was like the perfect combination. And she rifled off, I think it was like 3 to 5 names.
Yeah, one of them was Wake Upstate, and then Good Morning Upstate, and then you had, wasn't it like the lunch hour or something like that? Yeah,
I had like Lunchbox Utica, but then I was like, oh, you know what, we do encompass, like the Upstate Experience, my business encompasses upstate New York, so, don't limit yourself, I guess.
And Good Morning Upstate is kind of funny for us because we always say it, but we usually are not filming in the mornings.
No. No, but they premiere live in the morning. See, that's
at like thing. 1 a.m.
Yeah, we edit them and then they premiere live in the morning. So.
Okay, question 2.
Okay, so question 2. How do you guys know each other, and how has it been working on the show? All right, so our friendship goes back to high school. I want to say sophomore year.
Yeah, I don't remember you from any period before that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And how's it been working? Awful.
Well, I feel like we're both extremely ambitious in what we want to do, but because we're so ambitious and so eager to do it, we probably do rush ourselves without maybe doing it 2 or 3 times over, just to know this is exactly how we're doing it, so we're confident when we do it and we have a game plan. But I feel like good things come with time and practice, so.
Yeah, it definitely gets better. We both have, like, our specialties with it that come with it, and, I think that both of us do definitely sometimes get, like, a head rush, and we just kind of jump into things because we'd rather just get it over with, because we're running on a very limited time period, and these things take a long period of time, so sometimes if we just can't get it, we just go with something that might not be the best, just because we're like, well, we'd rather put something out than not put anything out.
Exactly. And I feel like too, I mean, for Ithaca, if we had just done the one day, we would not have had, I think, a full episode.
No.
Or it would have it wouldn't have been as good, because a lot of those shots that came from the day before changed it. And that's like a good example too, is like, we definitely want to encompass like upstate New York and experiences. And well, if you go on a hayride in October, you're going on a hayride in October. It's happening in the moment. You can't ask the guy to pull the wagon back around the farm and just keep doing it while you film. I'm just foreshadowing what we're going to do in the future, but just the idea there that like, you can't always.
This might have got a little off topic.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
When we film, like, especially like Ithaca, and then going forward, once we do like the 1,000 Islands in different regions, we're doing them at moments and events. So some of the stuff filming forward will be like, we got to film it on this limited battery supply that the camera has and get the shot done.
Yeah, that's true. Because when we were camping, like, what were we going to do? Leave the camera in the public space charging.
Exactly.
It wasn't going to happen.
Like, we'll just leave our, Gabby's $400, $500 camera in the bathroom and her other, like, more expensive camera in the other bathroom, and just, hopefully no one takes them.
Yeah, but in conclusion, working together, we both have same or similar goals, and we both have skills that are different but work in a collaborative way to make the end game those goals.
facts.
And we have a really good communication, as I would say, too.
Yeah. Open and honesty, that's all you need.
Passive aggressiveness constantly.
Sarcasm? Yes. I mean, what's that?
We strayed so far from question
Okay, so
2.
number 3 then. Go ahead.
You have 2 episodes out so far. What did you learn from making the first one that helped you with the second one? Our first one was a little all over the place, I'll admit. But it was because we had, like, these great ideas. But, like I said, we're working with limited time. And the first one was taking us such a long time to do. Because we filmed the whole intro, like, one evening. And then we filmed the tasting one evening.
Yep.
And then we were like, oh, how are we going to, like, tie this together? But we really wanted to do the composting because Johnny wanted to do one for his mom for Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. And then that ended up falling through because we filmed that after Mother's Day. So the day that we did the composting...
we aired it after Mother's Day, but we did the composting.
We did?
Yeah, it was before Mother's Day.
Oh, I don't even know dates and times anymore.
That's how it flows.
But, so the composting was like a one-take thing. Like, if that didn't work, like, it wasn't great, I'll admit.
No. We could, go back there next spring at a future date.
We gotta redo that.
It's composting. Like, I've checked it. It's doing what it's got to do. But
it's working. But it was a one-take thing. So if we had really messed it up to the point where, like, it, like, even on camera it didn't look good, then we would have been really, like, not in a good position at all. Because the minute that we stopped composting, we left and came and edited. So if that didn't go through, then we were really out of footage, basically.
Yeah.
So
I think, too, Gabby means with the way we did it and the way that we filled the composting, she means in, like, a good and aesthetic way. Like,
it
doesn't matter what we put in it.
Yeah, it's correct in terms of composting.
It doesn't matter what we put in it. Gabby, like, wanted the aesthetic of, like, are there leaves that are crunchy with the right color? She took a lot of time nitpicking the leaves and the grass that we had to pick.
It wasn't the right kind of dirt.
It just, like, that was the aesthetic that Gabby was aiming for. And I think she hit it. I think we got it. That's why we used it.
But I think as far as making the first one and going on to the second one, we learned that if we need to get all the footage that we can, which is kind of why, and I think, so Billy, who films us, I think even kind of, because we didn't mention anything about it, but he got so much footage, whether it was usable or not, he got a ton of footage from the second one. So I think that even kind of, it was like silently there that he saw that we just constantly need to keep the cameras going. And like, we have a ton of cameras and like, they're not always on, I'll admit, but like we need to have all of them on always because the more footage, the more we have to work with. Because like I said, like if we left Ithaca and we didn't have enough footage, then like there's no video, and that trip, it wasn't wasted, but like as terms of like Good Morning Upstate, wasted.
Yeah, it would have been totally wasted. Because to be honest, if we had just gone with the GoPro footage and the camera footage, it wouldn't have worked. So I guess to answer that, like we've definitely learned a lot about how many cameras do you need. Not only like how to use them, but how do we actually use them? Like, if we have multiple cameras, how do we use them all in the same
are we setting up tripods? Are we having Billy walk around with it? But so I think that from the first 2 episodes, we actually learned a lot. The second one was really cool as far as footage because we had more footage than we did talking, so we got to do voiceover, which was something that kind of came up on the fly. A lot of this is just winging. But the voiceover ended up being a lot of fun to do, and like most of these things are very much one take. The voiceover was one take.
The voiceover was one take.
Composting one take.
Yeah, Gabby literally did what she did with her phone just now when we started this, and it was just like, okay, we're gonna record, and here's the video.
Yeah, so we played the video as we're just talking, and that's how we came up with the voiceover, just because like I said, we edit these things very late at night, so the minute there's anything that we need to fix, like doing a voiceover, because we're not going to play music for 20 minutes, then we have to, most things are just like, we have to get it done in that time, because we're busy people.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Like in a humble way, but like we're busy,
Yeah.
We got things. We got things going on,
And this is a priority, but it's something that takes place in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, but that's why it's a priority to us. And that's why we're still here at those hours, because we'll commit that time.
Yeah. Again, maybe off topic.
Yeah. Question number 4. What has been the most challenging part of making the show, and what was the funniest moment in making the show so far?
Which one?
Going past the first one, because I feel like we've touched on a lot of that.
Yeah.
The second part, I'm immediately as soon as I read that, I'm thinking of we're in Thinkubator right now in Utica where we edit, and I'm looking over at the computer that we sit at while we edit, and I can just reminisce on how many times per episode I was on the ground crying, just rolling around laughing, and it was at least 5 times per episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say challenging part. I think timing. If we had more time, I think things would roll a little bit more smooth. Yeah. But so that would be. We did touch a lot on our challenges, but I think timing would have to be the most. And then, like Johnny said, the funniest moments are before we even start editing, and we're just going over the footage, and we probably think the show is so much more funnier than most people who watch it. Just because when we're going over it, we have seen a lot of these clips, the
outtakes, and
5 or 6 times. Even some of the stuff that makes its way on into the video, there's just little things that you pick up. There's one part in the first episode where I'm talking.
Yep, I knew exactly where you were going. I was gonna say she posted on the Instagram too. So,
I'm trying to think in the episode 2, I think some of the funnier things are Billy's breathing. So Billy was filming the whole hike.
Gosh.
Billy was filming the whole hike, and we had to take almost all of the audio out. So the only time that you actually can hear this is when he's like, "This sucks." But all of the footage from that, anytime you see a waterfall or anything that Billy shot, just picture in the background, and that's how we're watching it the first time. And me and Johnny
which explains why the camera isn't in focus, or it's not the autofocus wasn't working, because he's breathing so heavy you think he's just gonna pass out or something.
But there's little things like that, just little mannerisms, or even sometimes we just will say things and we just don't even notice at the time of filming that we were saying some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just really funny to kind of critique yourself.
Yeah, the episode 1
had a lot of really good gems.
Yeah, because it was so you said earlier, episode 2 we knew we were going to Ithaca, it was this, but the first one was we did this, this, and this, where are we at? So we're watching all these different pieces, and each piece just had something else to it. You go over to Nail Creek when Gabby was talking, and I was like, oh, let me just say something, but then I kept holding myself up, and in the camera, all you see is I'm but I'm not saying anything, and that just
I will say
it was really funny to see.
First episode probably had a lot more, just because there's a lot of footage that never actually ended up making it into that episode, because we had a much larger plan, and then it just didn't work out. But the funniest moments are probably when we're sitting down to review the footage.
Yep.
Just because it's absolutely hilarious.
So funny.
Yes. Okay, question 5. What other adventures should your audience expect for you to embark on, and what other topics have you planned to talk about?
So we've already foreshadowed this. I was kind of saying it earlier in the other questions. I mean, the Thousand Islands will definitely be somewhere we'll visit. We did Ithaca. Not to say that Ithaca won't be off the table, but something that Gabby and I...
more there to
do. There's a lot more there to come back to, but something Gabby and I talk about every time we meet is October.
Yeah, we both love fall and Halloween, so I think that around that season, not pushing summer away, because there's a lot of stuff that we have kind of planned for summer, but our plans for the fall and leading into winter, towards the end of the season, are going to be some of the bigger productions, just because, and the reason why we're planning so far in advance is because they are these bigger episodes.
Yes.
But in the summer, we have a Saratoga episode.
Yep, Saratoga.
We have a fun Boilermaker weekend one.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Can't wait to get the tree trunks out there running. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thousand Islands.
Yep. Some wine tasting.
Yeah.
Anybody's familiar with Coyote Moon, Thousand Islands Winery.
Oh boy, I gotta type him. Oh boy. Oh no, Ray.
Oh no, the phone lost the question. What else were we thinking of? Well, there's a few things too, because we want to cross over. Good Morning Upstate is an extension of the Upstate Experience, and both, have the mission statement of reflecting on, like, what is the experience you get upstate. So Good Morning Upstate. Well, what is the experience that's happening upstate? What is upstate? And one thing that we're going to cross over with is on my Weekend Warrior all-inclusive camping trips, I've invited Gabby and a few other people to come in, and we're going to kind of like loosely script it so that it's almost like a parody of The Office or Parks and Rec. So it has like that style of filming and directing and humor, but the idea is that it's about us,
Yeah, and I think like something that we haven't done a lot of in the first 2 episodes, but are planned for our future ones, is that we wanted to do more sketches, but like I said, timing. We did have sketches for the first one, they just didn't really work out, and now we just have these clips that might like show up later.
They'll find their way.
They'll find their way, but so I think that we have a little bit more like funny things other than like our natural funny selves that will come out, some like scripted funny things. But as far as like topics to talk about, it's really just places that we have and wineries and breweries and just
events going on.
Yeah, events going on. And nothing is super set in stone. Like we have these ideas, and like I said, we're pretty much how we do the episodes is like, hey, you have a free time, I have a free time, Billy has a free time. If one of us doesn't, then we just kind of do it. Like this weekend, Johnny and I are going to be trying to do separate episodes.
Yes.
We're going to test it out.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're going to see how it works out.
So you're going to be...
I'm going to be doing kind of a Utica showcase. This weekend is the Sidewalk Art Show at Munson Williams, and it's one of the first weekends for
that's awesome.
Billy's
actually in it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Billy's in it. I'm excited for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he actually dropped it off before we went to Ithaca.
Oh yeah, get it.
So I'm gonna go to the Sidewalk Art Show, and then there's the farmers market. I think just opened up last weekend, so I'm gonna go there and see what they have. So a little bit of a Utica showcase, as much as I can do, because I do have to work Friday and Saturday. Yeah. So as much as I can do with the time that I have. And then Johnny.
Yep, I'm going to be up in the Thousand Islands. I'll be camping at Wellesley Island State Park, which is just off 81 between Clayton and A-Bay there. It's the 3rd largest island in the Thousand Islands region. And I'm going to be camping there for the weekend with a few buddies. Probably going to be a lot of content building, and then my hope is to maybe get you guys either an instructional video, whether it's with camping or some cool sped up motions of like what it looks like when it takes me 30 minutes to set up a tent by myself, but it's actually a pain in the ass because you're by yourself setting up a tent.
Johnny's vlogs are the best ones of all.
And that's what I might try and do with mine on this one is give you a vlog and go through, what's Wellesley Island State Park? What can you do here? What are the trail systems? I'll have my kayaks out. I'm probably going to do some wine tasting at Thousand Islands and craft beer at Woodboat Brewery. So I feel like we have great plans going into this, and this plays on everything Gabby's been saying. Like, we have great plans, and this is our availability to do these things because it's what we're doing. It's the experience. It's Upstate, But it comes down to the camera thing and the content and what are you actually able to get and what actually comes out well because, we're working for ourselves here. So it's, other than Billy, when we have him, it's not like we have like a professional crew following us around.
No, it's like we find like, especially when we are at places, we have to get very resourceful with like how we're filming because like when we're at the incubator, we have cameras. We have cameras. Too many cameras sometimes. We have mics, which are our life support, and we did not use them in Ithaca, and everybody was like, what happened with the sound?
Yeah.
And the wireless, someone told me that we should get wireless mics, and I was like, but the 16 feet ones work really well. We just probably should have put them on when we were actually talking. Yeah. I didn't even bring them on the hike.
We were on a deadline that day too because Gabby had to get back to Utica and we got a little bit of a slow start in the morning. So by the time we actually hit the trails,
we had, I think, 2 hours exactly to do the 3 trails, and we ended up doing 2 of them.
Yeah, given like I had done it the day before, I was like, okay, I know how much we can get done, and I already cut it to a shorter loop. We only did the mile loop there that went between the Gorge Trail and the Rim Trail. So we did what we could in 2 hours. If we had 4 hours, maybe we would have pulled out the mics and we would have
had more
stuck up our
and
shirts.
That's exactly why I'm not running up to West Wellesley Island this weekend, is because I'd rather just me do my own thing, Johnny do his own thing, because Johnny can definitely get a lot of footage up there, and if we need to, we can always make it 1 video, we can make it 2 videos. It really depends on when we sit down and look at it. But I didn't want to take away from him, even though it's very difficult to do the filming by yourself. I think Johnny can attest to that.
Oh, God, yeah. Because vlogging, I like that you make the joke about vlogging, but, I feel like I never actually post any vlogging stuff on, the Upstate Experience. And they tell me here at Thinkubator, too, you got to sell people, on you for your brand. And it's true, because, Johnny Quest, that's who I am. But it's hard for me to film myself, watch myself, and then be like, yeah, I'm going to post this. I'm going to willingly post this video I did of myself.
Johnny had 1 vlog from Ithaca, and he shared it.
You didn't see the other ones. I have more than that one.
He showed it to me. So when we were in Ithaca, it was quite rainy, and it was rainy after I got there. It was beautiful while Johnny was there, but he had the tent up, and then what would you call it? The canopy?
Yeah, it was a canopy tent, 10 by 10.
And I had the wind came in and knocked it over and broke it, and Johnny did a whole vlog after about it, and he let me watch it, and I was like, this is amazing. And then he had another one from when he was hiking alone. He was like,
one in the woods.
Hey, Johnny Quest, I'm in the woods.
Wait, hold on.
Are you going to play it?
I'm going to pull that up. It's literally only 20 seconds long.
No, but it's absolutely hilarious. I guess while you're doing that, I can probably answer question 6.
Go for it.
It says, who does the filming? So we kind of touched on this. Billy does a lot of the filming. Johnny does some of the filming. And
credit where the right credit's due.
Okay, Johnny does the filming on, what's the gadget called?
Gimbal. The DJI gimbal.
So Johnny does the gimbal stuff. So anything that you see that kind of looks like a drone is from Johnny. Anything that's on GoPro is from Johnny, because my GoPro just hasn't been used.
Yeah, we'll get
so
to
far.
It.
We're only using 1 GoPro right now.
Wait until
I say what? On not a point and shoot.
Tripod.
Yeah, anything on the
breathing.
tripod or that you can hear Billy breathing is Billy.
Or has voice.
And then I think that I did a few. I mean, they're my cameras, but I haven't done any filming at all.
No, actually,
I really don't do a lot of filming. I did some of the
just my solo shots.
I was gonna say just the solo shots. But you want to know something? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Billy did them. The only thing I did was a couple of the intro shots. But
you did the bag square one where I was on the rollerblades.
I did do those.
Yeah,
so some of the intro, I guess. Yeah, because I forgot Billy wasn't there.
Yep.
But if Billy's there, I just hand him the camera, because he usually has to tell us when to cut and start over and everything. And I'm trying to be in the shot, so. But so it's a very much a collaborative effort. Okay, here is the vlog.
What's going on? Upstate New York. My name is Johnny Quest. I'm the founder and chief executive of Adventure at the Upstate Experience. Currently in Robert H. Treeman State Park on the Rim Trail, which is about 2.2 mile trail. It's phenomenally beautiful. We have wildlife on us. Oh yeah, man! I realized that the app doesn't let you turn the screen, or I couldn't
You're
figure
just
it out.
pointing at like a
So
screen.
this is like, I didn't post it because I'm like, I like ran into like a chipmunk, which was really funny because Gabby asked me, like, first thing she asked me was like, did you encounter any chipmunks or have them like climb up you or whatever?
He's like the male version of Snow White.
What? What does that even? I guess that's actually a really good compliment.
Yeah, because they like,
I'm like, wait.
they like come on to her.
Yeah.
Well, that's a weird way to phrase it.
Well,
they land on her.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not even gonna go into this.
She sings to them. they land on her.
My singing is much different, but I will.
You'll
take
hear
this.
it soon.
Yeah, I will take this and accept it.
So who does the editing?
Oh, that's Gabby. That's Gabby. We definitely, there's oversight because I had to ask for production credits in this, or no, what did I ask for?
So there's always like a big discussion with who's going to be credited for what. Like I really, I really care who gets credited.
Credit titles.
So Johnny has become like an supervising editor. Like he just sits next to me and is like, yeah, I think that's good. And like,
come on, you're
no, he does.
You're underselling me so much.
No, he does a lot.
Shit. I'm like, nah, girl, you gotta move that in the other side of the episode. That ain't gonna flow.
No, Johnny edits as much as I do. I will admit. The only difference between it is
Mine's an oversight editing, and Gabby is actually.
I'm actually on the computer making the marks.
Yeah.
And moving things around. But like as far as music, like we both find the music together. Yep. As far as what stays in, we discuss that. What order, we discuss that. Which take we're gonna use, because a lot of those Good Morning Upstate, those are usually like there's a couple different options to choose from.
Oh, the Ithaca one, we only did like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right? I did not want to do any more.
No, either did I.
We're like standing in this. This is the other thing with like vlogging and stuff like that. Like I only want to do one take because I don't want to be that guy who's standing there for 30 minutes, like just recording a video. Like I'd rather be out doing something. Or
you had no idea. When we were at Buttermilk Falls, Johnny was talking to his friend Leanne, and Billy had me do the intro of Buttermilk Falls, but Johnny wouldn't give me the map because he kept getting distracted. I kept saying, Johnny, can I have the map?
Wait, really?
Yeah, you like, I was like, Johnny, can I have the map? And you're like, yeah, and like,
I gave it to you.
No, you never gave it to me. No, you never took it out of the bag. So I was like, okay, so I had nothing to say about Buttermilk Falls. So I was like trying to go off of what you had said earlier.
Oh yeah.
And so we took about 5 takes of me kind of just making stuff up. Yep. And then I looked at Billy and I was like, just so you know, like, I don't know if any of that's true. And he just looked so mad. And it was a rough day for me to begin with because I don't sleep. Like camping, that was my first time camping. And it was fun. But I just don't sleep well, so...
Yours was quick, too. Like, you didn't get the real camping experience. Like, you came... We went to Ithaca
I came
Beer.
And I slept on the ground. That was about it.
Like we went to Ithaca Beer. We came back. It was already dark, so we had a fire going. And then it's like, okay, go lay on the ground.
Yeah, like it wasn't a real camping experience.
Yeah, like you've never experienced this campground during the day, but like here, go in the tent and like get comfy.
So, and then I woke up probably around 6 a.m. and I showered, and I was freezing that day, like absolutely freezing. And I remember sitting in the camp chair because I couldn't sit in the tent any longer, wrapped in a comforter, just like, and my phone was dead, and I just like stared into the void, and I was like, this is camping. So I was pretty exhausted, and by that time it was still pretty cold out. When we got on Robert H. Treeman's trail, I was like, I have too many layers on.
Yeah, the sun started to come out.
Yeah, I wore way too many layers for that hike. So during Buttermilk Falls, when I'm doing the intro, Billy made me do that take probably around 7 times when I actually had the right information, because he kept telling me that I looked miserable and I didn't want to. I looked like I didn't want to be there.
Smiling through the pain.
Oh my god! And some of the shots, you can tell that like I'm being told to smile.
Oh goodness!
The only one that I didn't look like I was being like I didn't have like somebody threatening my life was the one that we used, because the rest of them I was like, help. So
even that one, like at the very end of it, like in the tip end, you just like if you look at your face, it's like Yeah, she's smiling through pain right
Yeah.
now.
So, as far as editing, we have to go through a lot of like those, like there's 7 shots and in each of them I look like I'm unhappy because not necessarily that I was like, I'm unhappy, but like my subconscious was like, today sucks. That was so off topic.
Tell the people what brought it back up. Tell the people what changed that though, because we went from Buttermilk Falls to Robert H. Streeman. And I said, Gabby, can I have the aux cord?
Oh, yeah,
and
we had
Gabby
a really
gave me
great
the aux
time.
cord, and we just had, 3 bangers.
Yeah, it was
back
I Like
to
It by
back.
Cardi B.
Yep.
Nice for What by Drake. And then This Is America by Childish Gambino. And then I was, really happy, and I should have delayered in the car, but I did not.
Yeah.
So if I had delayered at that time, I would have been, sky high, but...
Yeah. But
we jammed so hard.
Yeah, we did jam.
I was like, wow, I'm ready for the day.
My playlists only go up, up, up. It's like climbing the stairs. It's challenging, but you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I was really ready for another hike too by the end of that one. So I was in a really good mood, even though I was on fire.
See, and that's the other thing too. I'm glad Gabby has chosen the Utica path as opposed to Thousand Islands with me, because if we were rushed on the trails and stuff like we were at Ithaca, we don't get what we know we can get. Ithaca did end up being great.
Yeah, but we definitely could have done a couple more trails, a little bit more buttermilk, and then the other one, Thai.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one's gonna be fun to pronounce.
Titanic
Falls.
I almost said Ticonderoga.
That's a different direction.
the Ticonderoga Falls.
You mean Fort Ticonderoga?
Isn't a Ticonderoga a type of pencil?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's also a fort.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's any correlation, but
they make the pencils at the fort. That's something that I'd just say on camera.
Somebody fact
Billy's not monitoring.
So there's no fact checking.
That was the question was who does the filming and who does the editing?
Oh my goodness! Wow,
we brought that real far.
We need to apologize for our tangents.
Okay, number 7.
You understand why we filmed for so long and why we have so much content though? We just go.
Okay, number 7. I know you only released 2 episodes as now, but how has the response been towards the show so far? Pretty positive, and nobody's down thumbed the video, so I take it as nobody's made fun of us. Oh my god, could you imagine if somebody from high school
starts trolling us?
But not even that, just took screenshots and put it on Twitter or Facebook.
I honestly at that point
I wouldn't even care, but
I'm at the point in my life where I just do what I do, and as long as I'm having a positive impact, I'm not doing anything wrong. Who cares? They're just showing other people what I do. So
yeah, no, everybody's really liked it. A lot of people want to be join us for an episode.
Yeah, which is the fun part.
Yeah, because we obviously we get along really well, but always having another person in there to play off of works really well too, and especially to highlight your fans, highlight your friends. No, they're friends. I meant to say friends.
Our friends are our fans, and our fans are our friends. Thank you for watching our videos, friends and fans.
We do it for the fans.
We do it for the fans.
To highlight your friends.
Gabby texts them to watch it.
I do.
Same.
Me and Johnny, because we post them at 1 a.m, which probably isn't our greatest marketing strategy.
No. I actually need to post something for Upstate, because I think I only did 1 post on this. I don't think I sold it. I didn't really try and sell this.
You didn't do it on your personal Instagram. Yeah. We'll talk later.
Did I do the first one on my personal?
Yeah.
I did?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't.
No, you did one on...
I did on Upstate Experience. I don't know about my personal.
Maybe not. Maybe not the personal. Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at the Upstate Experience, at Good Morning Upstate.
At Gabri Meow.
At Johnny Quest, Upstate New York. It's not long. It's not that long.
No, it's pretty short. What was the question? How has the response been? It's been very positive.
Yeah.
And like I said before I called all of our friends, I'm sorry, fans. Getting to highlight what your friends do is really awesome.
Yes.
We didn't get to do it as much in the first episode with Ashley as we wanted to. I'm sorry. But if we had got to, it just would have been really fun to get her to talk about something that she's passionate about. And we have a future episode with one of our friends, and he's going to be in an opera.
Is it the Saratoga one?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's with Zach.
Oh, yes.
And he's going to be in an opera.
Well, because we have so many different ideas going around now. Because we, honestly, we have some really freaking talented friends.
We do.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're so untalented.
Yeah. So, to have them on and, show, yo, these are our friends, and, look at the things they do. It's awesome. It's not just to us, here's Upstate, here's the regions of Upstate, here's me and Gabby the whole time. It's no. Here's the people of Upstate, too. These are our friends. They're
doing awesome things. Yeah, our friend Zach is going to be in an opera pretty soon. And, that's just so awesome.
It's a beautiful voice.
Yeah, I know. And I'm
my God.
I can't wait until we get to do an episode with him. Because, I just want him to talk about it. And I want people to go see it. And I just feel like it would be an all-around good time. So, being able to highlight, what your friends do and what their passions are and what they're good at is something that I really can't wait for us to bring into it. And so I think that might help with our, why people like it is because they know us and they know what we're doing.
And it'll create a staple, too, because one of the things we always say, the best way to talk is over beer or wine, alcohol, because it gets you loose. And when we're with our friends, this gives us a chance to show off different New York State craft beverage makers that, their barley or their grapes or whatever, they're produced in New York State. That's New York State workers you're supporting. So we're supporting their business while also supporting our friends, and we're drinking and we're having a great time.
And one thing that we learned, too, was that we don't always have to drink. And finding out, fun things that we can do with people where we can still interview them and not necessarily have them drink is really fun because we had one person that we invited on the show and they were like, oh, by the way, I don't drink. And immediately I was like, let's go berry picking. Oh my God. And Johnny was laughing so hard at me and I was like, no, it's great. It's equivalent to drinking. And I think that too, one of the main reasons that we do this is because...
Well, it's like apple picking. That'd be something I easily, or, come with it in hiking. We went with my friends. They didn't get, a detail on the show because we never really stopped and made, a point for that. But, it can always be, whether it's over alcohol or a hobby or outdoors, we're always going to be able to take something that's New York and our friends and bring it together in a unique way.
And I think a lot of the reasons why we did the show, and I don't know if we mentioned this before, was because... we were just so sick of people in this area saying, oh, there's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do here.
But there's a lot of things to do.
There's a lot to do.
And I think that when we were told by someone that they don't drink, it kind of, I don't know if it struck you, but it hit me because I'm born in November, so I didn't turn 21 until a long time. Yeah, I was one of the last.
First. My birthday's in February.
But, so thinking about, things that you can do before, you're able to drink...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your state, that would be really awesome to, just have a bunch of options for people to do. And I think that was really important.
We have some of the most amazing state parks and some great trailways. And, growing up, I wish somebody had taken me up to the High Peaks region. Because up until 2 years ago, I had never been to the High Peaks. Now I have 9 under my belt. And my goal is to get, 5 to 7 done a year from here. And it's just, I wish I was exposed to that at a younger age because to the people who say, there's nothing to do here, there is a lot to do here. Sometimes you just need to be exposed to it or shown, what is possible, whether it's in, your hometown, for us, the Utica area, or it's oh, hey, here's a 2-hour drive. Yeah, when you're 16, you can't just go off with your license, but, you have family, you have friends, Mom, the Adirondacks. I went up to the Adirondacks every summer, but never past Fourth Lake. My grandparents lived in Cape Vincent, the Thousand Islands. I literally, lived on the St. Lawrence River. That is my lifeblood in a way. But that was what I was exposed to the most of. I really like that point. Younger people, too. You don't have to... Drinking isn't the only thing you do here. Or, I know people stay in our hotels in Utica, and, I picked up a couple for a beverage trail, and I overheard the guy talking with a, concierge, and he was is there anything to do here besides eat and stay in hotels? And I was I listened to that, and I was I get where you're coming from because you're an outsider, but that hurts because I'm I know there's other stuff to do, but I also know you're innocent in saying that because you don't no, like you're genuinely asking.
And I think, too, to go off of, like, when you're 16, you can't drive 2 hours. There are a lot of things. So our home base right now is Utica. And we're not trying to be, like, the Utica show.
No,
but
we're upstate.
Since it's local, it's easy for us to do some of the things like the farmer's market, the sidewalk show. But even some of the trails that are closer to Utica, to just show that, like, not necessarily that you have to live in Utica to be close to these things, but, like, no matter where you are, there are always things to do. Like if you're local to Syracuse, like you can drive to Shenango Falls and like that's only like a 20-minute drive. If you're in Utica, you can go up to like the Boonville, Alder Creek region, and there's trails there like Pixley Falls. Yeah. So like I think also highlighting that like no matter where you are, there's really close things, and you don't have to drive all these hours away. Like it's if you can, and it's really nice, but you don't have to, like, kill yourself over it, like, trying to, like, get a ride. Like, you don't have to be begging constantly.
Like, here's a great way to put it. It's like, if you're down near the city, they think everything's upstate New York. Mm-hmm. But if you live in upstate New York, you know there's different regions. And, like, I'm not going to get into full detail about that discussion, but, like, each region has great things to it. The Mohawk Valley, you know, Central New York, the Adirondacks, the North Country, Thousand Islands, Finger Lakes, Southern Tier, like, Western New York, like, each location, whatever your hometown is, how small it is or how big it is, there's something to do around you.
Yeah, and each place is local, is like a local treasure. They all have their like hole-in-the-wall places, whether it be a really small brewery or like a food place. Like there are hidden treasures all throughout upstate New York, depending on where you are. And I think that a lot of what we're trying to do is find them and expose them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason like New York was named the Empire State. You know, like the Erie Canal opened up, you know, like the middle United States. Like it connected the Hudson Valley, New York City, all the way out west to ports like Duluth and Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago. You know, the Erie Canal, that's where a lot of these cities are too in New York, and there's a lot to do along that. It's just, there's history here. And it's still here, and we're all local, and there's a lot to see.
Yeah, we have a lot of history stuff that we're working on putting out, too, because we're big history people.
Yup. Oh, yes. Gabby is with the Utica Historical Society, and we do have something that she's been very eager to talk about, and I'm actually really excited for because I haven't had a chance to get into, like, the Rutgers mansions or anything like that. So I'm really excited for what that's going to behold and what we'll create out of that.
It's nice because we can like show each other like back to the specialties things, being able to like show each other things that we're good at. Because like I mean I have done hikes before, but like I would not have known anything about the gorge and the rim trail. Like I would not have understood that concept.
It's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is for year 8.
Okay, will you be covering the New York State Fair? You know what? Like, I'm gonna give my piece. We actually haven't talked about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not something that we've totally discussed.
We haven't discussed this, but like open, like first, like opinion on that. It gets a lot of publicity in itself, and personally, I don't know if I'll be there. I haven't been there. I think the last year or two, might have been a year or two ago. I was there. But I have a lot of camping trips around that time, and some other big plans that the Upstate Experience will be doing theatrically and whatnot, but I can't talk about that right now. I have a lot of stuff going on in August. So for me, I don't know that I will, based on the publicity it already gets, and then what I know I have scheduled, for me to make the time for it, I just don't know if I will. Or if it'll be willing and worth. You know?
When I read this question when I first went through them, I knew that me and Johnny hadn't discussed it, and it's not really in our realm. Like it is upstate. It's just not something that we typically would do because we're more into like the localized things. Like I could see us going to like a local bazaar or
like
something.
The Boonville Fair or the Woodsman's Fire Days, you know, like something like that.
But I didn't see us there. I usually go to the New York State Fair on the last day when it's the dollar day.
Yes.
But that's usually because of the concert that they have. So like I saw Nick Jonas, and then last year I saw Migos.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's pretty good then.
So when I read the question, I didn't didn't anticipate ever having like a full fair episode, but you know, like the vlogging that we talked about, I could picture like you being like, oh, if you're going, just vlog while you're there.
As soon as you started getting into that, I was like, this would be the way to use it.
It would just be a vlog episode. It wouldn't be like an entire feature like Ithaca had.
No.
It would definitely just be a vlogging like, oh, this is what we ate while we were there, and this is what we drank.
Here's video of everything, but, you know, could we actually film there? No, there's too many people.
Yeah, that
noise,
too is
even
that.
Even with the mics, maybe, you know.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do, like, a full episode. I think even bringing the cameras in would be hard. It would have to be something that would be done on the GoPro for sure.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't have the big camera in there.
No, I don't know if they would value it.
No, and the thing, too, with that is that we'd have to call them, and a lot of these places we have to call before we bring the cameras and the tripods and the mics in, just to make sure that we're not interfering with anything or like breaking any type of rule. So we'd have to probably call the New York State Fair tonight.
And when you're not, like, we're still in our early stages, so like we haven't developed a huge reputation.
Yeah,
so
it would be hard to be a feature.
There. One day, you know, Good Morning Upstate, the Upstate Experience, that'll carry a lot of weight with it, because we're gonna create this, you know, beautiful foundation, and it will carry weight, and people will hear it and be like, oh, yeah, you know, we've seen what you do, and we'd love to have you, and we're actually going to bring you in before the crowds come so you can film, because we want, you know, that.
Or, give us a cone. Give us one traffic cone.
Don't give me a traffic cone. Don't give me traffic cones. Not a good idea.
Give Billy, like, a reflective vest. Billy's just in a reflective vest. That's all they give us.
A vlog, but...
Not a feature.
If not, I would, only if we got that opportunity where
if one of us was going, that's the only way I would see us covering the New York State Fair.
In 2018.
In 2018. In 2018. But, unless one of us just happens to be going, it's not on the radar at all.
Yeah.
So number 9, in the most recent episode, you hinted at the possibility of a podcast. Are you guys really thinking of starting one? And if so, what would you guys discuss?
Yeah.
So we did hint at it. So, as we said in the beginning, this initially turned out that both of us wanted to start a podcast, but as we discussed it, it proved better to show rather than tell.
Yeah.
When we were joking about the podcast, that was kind of something like, oh, when the season's over, like maybe something throughout the winter. It wasn't going to be directly related to the show.
No, I think it would have more of like a cultural approach.
Yeah, as you can
and
tell.
And not even necessarily just upstate, right?
But like, no, definitely. Yeah. Just like something, because as you can tell, we can talk for hours. Almost an entire one.
Really?
Yeah. So I think, sorry, Corinne. So I think
so sorry, Corinne.
The reason that we say that we would like to start a podcast is because we can just continuously talk. And like there are times that we start talking about things and they are like really like heavy topics that have like a lot of different points, like almost to the level of like when people are discussing conspiracy theories and they're like, here's example A, example B, like that's like how intense some of our discussions
3 a.m. after a Stewart's run.
Yeah, like we're like here like post Stewart's.
Yeah.
Johnny's not even wearing shoes and we're just like waiting for footage to be uploaded and we're just talking. And so I think that if we did podcast, it would be a little rougher than the videos for sure. And a lot broader of a spectrum. Like I feel like we could talk about literally anything and find it super interesting.
It would focus more on the broader sense of like our personalities and the different things we bring to the table that aren't like necessarily upstate New York and need to be shown.
Yeah, like we're not super like one-dimensional where we're like I bleed upstate.
Yeah, like I do to a degree, but like I do have a life outside of here too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like our big joke is in the first episode we said we love to explore the local flavors of our upstate communities, and then like when we're in Ithaca we ended up at a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh my god, for breakfast, yeah.
Not necessarily for breakfast.
Well,
we ate breakfast and then we went there.
And then went, And you know, that's too, like, that becomes like the planning thing, like with the way we do our episodes. I know that it's something that over time we'll correct these things. So we'll be like, oh, well, if we're camping, like campsites aren't typically near a lot of stuff. This one, you know, in Ithaca, they're right below, you know, they're just south of Ithaca. So like we had easy access to like, there's a Dunkin' right there. And it's like, oh, it's the morning. Billy won't like really wake up. As his brother, I know I need to get him coffee. So I was like, what do I know is here?
Yeah.
Because I have no reception on my phone. What do I know is here? Oh, I passed a Dunkin' on the way in. Billy, let's go get coffee.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's something that kind of we could fault ourselves for because...
is know that there's like, is there another coffee place? Is there a breakfast place or something where you can go?
We should have looked it up before we got there.
Because the only one we actually looked up was Ithaca Beer Co. Because we wanted to do
I think they have tasting. A coffee mania. I saw a Starbucks.
They have like we have Utica Coffee. They have an Ithaca Coffee Company.
Oh, wow.
It's something like similar where they brand the name.
Okay. But yeah, so as far as podcasting goes.
Yeah, I feel like it would, I think it's something like don't anticipate it coming out the door anytime soon. But like at the same time, anticipate it coming out at any moment and you'll never ever know because it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, that's kind of how we roll. The videos are we're very much like how they do Rick and Morty where they just like release it.
Yeah. I don't know how long it'll take for people to fully understand my humor, but I hope they do.
Yeah, like I think it's
very sarcastic.
It's funny to us because like since we are so busy, we don't even know when the episodes are gonna come out, so it's hard for us to like give
judge things
people
on the week, like or the day.
Yeah, I would break it down to a week thing.
Yeah,
I would say
like,
a week.
We're gonna get together next Wednesday. That's when we're dedicating it to editing. Okay, so then the video should be posted Thursday morning. Like
I think so far both videos have been posted around 1 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I know
Tuesdays.
I think this second episode was a little later.
Yeah.
We ended up going to Stewart's because we were like,
the GoPro footage took a really long time to upload because we had a 30-minute clip of Johnny putting together a tent.
Oh my goodness. We sped it up and used like 3 seconds of it in the intro. Pitching tents with Johnny.
I thought that was great.
I thought it was great too. I loved showing it to Billy. Because I was like on the ground laughing because I knew you would laugh. I knew like you were laughing when you did it and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, because Johnny went to the bathroom and I was left to, I think that was one of the last like finishing touches we had to do was put on
right in the
like our
titles.
featuring titles.
Yeah.
And I remembered that in the first thing what we did was like also starring. But as I was watching the footage, I was like, well, it would be funnier if I just kind of used what we were doing in the footage to like do it. So I did Smiling Through the Pain and Chasing Waterfalls for me and then vlogging and pitching tents with Johnny. And it was
humor.
Yeah, it was observational humor. Hire me. So that really had nothing to do with the question.
No, so here we go on another tangent. We got you on the last episode, like last question too.
The last question is for you to say, Johnny.
And finally, where can we find and follow you? Well, currently, if you want to find me right now, which is 6:47 p.m. Thursday, June 14th on Flag Day. I'm at Thinkubator across from Gabby. In the future, I will be within this area. And if you want to follow me, just don't follow me in person. But you can follow me on social media. Instagram at the Upstate Experience. Good Morning Upstate is our Instagram. And then, Gabby, you have your own personal, I know, too.
In the at Good Morning Upstate bio, you'll actually see the links to our profiles.
That's true.
That's the easiest way to find it. Like I said, mine is at Gabri Meow. Good luck spelling it.
I went Johnny Quest Upstate New York. Like, don't even
look for it.
Do like Good Morning Upstate and Upstate Experience.
Yeah, if you want,
we tag each other all the time.
Yeah. So those would be the two main ones to follow. I mean, our personal accounts, mine is pretty active. Johnny is inactive.
Yeah, I'm not on my phone. Gabby will attest to this because she knows I answer her like 3 hours later and I open her Snapchats 12 hours later. I'm not active on my phone outside of like posting things for my business or doing things for my business.
Yeah.
I'm a nature head.
And then
I apologize.
I'm a nature head. Ooh.
I prefer
I bleed upstate. What is this technology?
I'm the male Snow White.
Hello, Disney. Do I have an idea for you? Snow White, but he's a dude.
We're doing gender benders.
The question was about social media. How did we get here? We're mainly on Instagram. That's all you need to know.
Instagram. Is Good Morning Upstate on Facebook?
It is, but there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can like it.
It's the
maybe
same
I'll
posts.
if somebody likes it, I'll maybe do something with it. But as of right now, there's nothing.
I would also say, because I'm going to add Good Morning Upstate to my website, obviously, because it's an extension of it, www.upstateexperience.com. And that's my website. Look it up, and you'll be able to find what you need. See?
And hopefully we'll have the links to the social media on there as well.
Yes, I will include those as I finally update my website.
Winging it.
Yeah. Well, it's what we do.
We'll get more structured as you guys.
Yeah, we don't know how to close right now. Like you can probably tell.
Thank you, Corinne, for having us.
Thanks, Corinne. Sorry for blowing your time up.
Yeah, sorry for this hour interview.
Enjoy listening to it, though.
I mean, thank you for transcribing it. You should probably just put a link at the bottom of the page. Don't let people listen to this.
I will. Yeah, I don't know if transcribing it's gonna go well. It's so bad.
We get off topic. This is the first podcast. Throwing it up on SoundCloud
Episode
right
1.
now.
You know what? We're just going to upload this, if you don't mind. We're going to use it. No, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for the plug.
Yes. All right. Adios, amigo.